A worker in a restaurant with dark skin. The manager fires him and ridicules him, but he comes back and everyone is shocked that he is the owner of the restaurant. But how and what is the reason? Is this the end of the story? It is just the beginning. Let us discover together, and do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories. Amid the bustling streets of New Orleans, nestled between a faded hardware store and a lively jazz club, stood a restaurant called Bayou Haven. It wasn't grand, but its charm drew locals and tourists alike. Inside the restaurant, a young black man named Marcus worked tirelessly. He was the dishwasher, cleaner, errand boy, and occasionally the reluctant sous chef. Marcus moved with precision, a quiet determination in his every step. Marcus's story was one of struggle. Growing up in a modest neighborhood, he had learned the value of hard work from his mother, who juggled 2 jobs to make ends meet. Marcus's dream was to someday open his own restaurant, where the food would not only nourish, but tell a story of resilience, culture, and community. But for now, Marcus had to settle for washing plates at Bayou Haven. His boss, Greg, a short-tempered and arrogant man, made sure Marcus never forgot his place. Greg often barked orders at him, belittling him in front of staff and customers. "You're just the help," Greg would sneer. "People don't come here for you. They come for my food." Marcus swallowed the insults and kept working, knowing he needed the paycheck to support his dreams. Despite the hostile environment, Marcus poured himself into his work. On slow days, he would linger near the kitchen, observing the chefs and taking mental notes. He had an impeccable palate and a knack for recreating dishes he'd only tasted once. At night, in his tiny apartment, Marcus would experiment with recipes, writing down ideas in a worn notebook he called his Book of Dreams. One Friday evening, as the restaurant buzzed with the weekend crowd, Marcus's life took a sharp turn. Greg stormed into the back, his face red with anger. "Marcus!" he bellowed. "You're too slow. Plates are piling up. I've had enough of your incompetence. You're fired. Get out!" The staff froze, watching as Marcus removed his apron with a calmness that belied the turmoil inside him. As he walked out, Greg added, loud enough for everyone to hear, "You'll never be more than a dishwasher. Remember that." Laughter erupted from a few of the staff, their cruelty cutting deeper than Marcus expected. Marcus didn't respond. He simply left, his head held high. For weeks, Marcus struggled to find direction. One evening, while walking through the French Quarter, he came across an elderly man sitting outside a modest antiques shop. The man, whose name was Elijah, was a regular customer at Bayou Haven and had always been kind to Marcus. "Marcus," Elijah said, gesturing him over, "I heard what happened. Life has a way of pushing us where we need to go. Take this." Elijah handed Marcus a small, intricately carved box made of dark wood. "It's an heirloom," he explained. "Belonged to my family for generations. I've always believed it would bring good fortune to the right person. Maybe that's you." Marcus hesitated, but accepted the gift, thanking Elijah. Inside the box was a tarnished coin with symbols Marcus didn't recognize. He kept it, unsure of its value, but touched by the gesture. Over the next few months, Marcus's life began to change. A series of chance meetings and opportunities allowed him to save money and refine his craft. He poured himself into his culinary dreams, unaware that the coin was more than just a trinket. It seemed to bring him uncanny luck. Each door that once seemed closed now opened. One day, Marcus learned that Bayou Haven was struggling. Greg had overextended himself financially, and the restaurant was on the verge of foreclosure. Marcus saw an opportunity, and, with the help of his newfound fortune and determination, placed a bid to purchase the restaurant. The day Marcus walked back into Bayou Haven as its new owner was unforgettable. The staff froze as he entered, impeccably dressed and carrying himself with quiet confidence. Greg, pale and defeated, handed over the keys. "I don't know how you managed this," Greg muttered bitterly. Marcus simply replied, "You underestimated me." Under Marcus's ownership, Bayou Haven transformed. He revamped the menu, introducing dishes but Marcus's success was only the beginning of a deeper mystery. The coin, which Marcus now kept with him at all times, seemed to have a presence of its own. Sometimes, when he held it, he felt a faint warmth radiating from its surface, as though it were alive. Late one night, while closing the restaurant, Marcus noticed the coin glowing faintly under the dim light of his office. He stared at it, a mix of awe and fear. Something about the symbols etched into the metal tugged at his memory, as if they were whispering a forgotten truth. Marcus decided to visit Elijah to learn more. The elderly man welcomed him warmly, but offered little explanation. "The coin chooses its keeper," Elijah said cryptically. "Its power is tied to you now, Marcus. Where it leads, you must follow." That night, Marcus had a vivid dream. He saw a thriving city that looked like New Orleans, but wasn't quite the same. Streets shimmered with light, and people gathered in a bustling marketplace filled with music and food. At the center of it all was a towering building, with the same symbols as the coin etched onto its doors. When Marcus woke, he felt an inexplicable pull to uncover the coin's origins. Meanwhile, Greg wasn't ready to accept defeat. He began spreading rumors about Marcus, trying to tarnish his reputation. He even attempted to open a rival restaurant nearby, but his efforts faltered. Marcus, however, refused to retaliate, focusing instead on growing his business and helping his community. One day, a stranger arrived at Bayou Haven, claiming to be a historian specializing in ancient artifacts. He spotted the coin in Marcus's office and immediately recognized it. "This," the historian said, "is no ordinary heirloom. It's part of a lost collection believed to have mystical properties, tied to prosperity and influence." Marcus listened intently as the historian explained that the coin was one of several scattered across the globe. Together, they formed a map to a hidden treasure said to grant unimaginable power. The revelation left Marcus both intrigued and cautious. What had started as a journey to reclaim his dignity had now become something far greater, and potentially far more dangerous. As Marcus continued to build his legacy, he couldn't shake the feeling that his journey was far from over. The coin's glow grew stronger, and its pull became impossible to ignore. What lay ahead was a path filled with challenges, secrets, and perhaps the answers to questions Marcus had never thought to ask. And so, the story of Marcus and the coin remained open, a tale of resilience, discovery, and the tantalizing allure of the unknown. But Marcus's story does not end here. Rather, it will begin. Follow along with us. If you like the story, do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to encourage us to continue. Marcus sat alone in his office at Bayou Haven, the restaurant alive with the chatter of satisfied diners and the clinking of glasses. On his desk, the coin rested in its carved box, glowing faintly under the dim light. The historian's words echoed in his mind. It's part of a map to a hidden treasure. He picked up the coin, feeling its warmth seep into his palm. The symbols etched into its surface seemed to shift, as if urging him to act. Marcus had always been a man of logic, rooted in hard work and reality. But the pull of the coin was undeniable. This was something greater than him, and for the first time in his life, he felt a calling he couldn't ignore. The next morning, Marcus closed the restaurant for the first time since taking ownership. The staff, while surprised, respected his decision. "I have something important to take care of," he explained. They nodded, trusting the man who had given them not just jobs, but a sense of purpose. Marcus's first stop was Elijah's antique shop. The old man was sitting in his usual spot, sipping tea. "I knew you'd be back," Elijah said with a knowing smile. "You knew about the coin," Marcus accused gently. "Why did you give it to me?" Elijah's eyes twinkled. "Because it's yours. It always was. The coin chooses its keeper, and it chose you. But its secrets are for you to uncover." Despite Elijah's cryptic words, he handed Marcus an old map, faded and torn at the edges. "This is the starting point," he said. "The coin will guide you the rest of the way." Marcus's journey began in the heart of the French Quarter, where the map led him to a forgotten crypt beneath an abandoned church. Inside, he discovered carvings identical to those on the coin. As he pressed the coin against the carvings, a hidden compartment opened, revealing another coin and a fragment of parchment with more symbols. The parchment hinted at a trail leading far beyond New Orleans, into the heart of the Caribbean. With the new coin and parchment in hand, Marcus realized he couldn't do this alone. He contacted the historian, Dr. Evelyn Calder, who had first recognized the coin. Evelyn, an adventurous spirit with a deep knowledge of ancient artifacts, agreed to join him. "If this is what I think it is," Evelyn said, studying the parchment, "you're on the path to uncovering the Solomon collection." "The what?" Marcus asked. "A legendary cache of artifacts believed to hold immense power and knowledge," Evelyn explained. "Coins like yours are keys to unlocking it." Their next destination was Jamaica, where local legends spoke of a similar coin hidden in the caves of Cockpit Country. Marcus and Evelyn's search was fraught with challenges: treacherous terrain, hidden traps, and rival treasure hunters who had caught wind of their quest. Among these rivals was Greg, Marcus's former boss, who had teamed up with a shadowy figure financing his efforts. In the depths of a cavern, Marcus and Evelyn found the second coin embedded in a rock formation, protected by a complex mechanism. Using their combined ingenuity, they retrieved the coin, which revealed another piece of the puzzle. As they emerged from the cave, they found Greg waiting, flanked by armed men. "Give me the coin, Marcus," Greg demanded, his voice laced with bitterness. "You don't deserve this." "You're wrong, Greg," Marcus replied firmly. "This isn't about deserving. It's about purpose." A tense standoff ensued, but Marcus and Evelyn managed to outwit Greg's crew, escaping with the coin and parchment intact. The encounter only strengthened Marcus's resolve to see the journey through. The clues eventually pointed to a forgotten island shrouded in mist, said to be the final resting place of the Solomon collection. As Marcus and Evelyn pieced together the map, the coins began to glow in unison, forming a radiant compass that guided them to the island's shores. The island was unlike anything they had ever seen, a lush paradise with ruins of an ancient civilization. At its center stood a grand temple adorned with carvings that mirrored the coin's symbols. Inside, they found a chamber filled with artifacts of unimaginable beauty and complexity. Among them was a final coin, larger than the others, which seemed to resonate with Marcus. As he held it, Marcus felt a surge of energy, visions flooding his mind. He saw the history of the coins, the civilizations that had guarded them, and the responsibility they carried. The collection wasn't just a treasure. It was a legacy of knowledge and power, meant to guide and protect humanity. But the moment was interrupted by Greg, who had tracked them to the island. In a desperate bid for power, He tried to seize the final coin. The ensuing confrontation forced Marcus to make a choice: to protect the collection or risk it falling into the wrong hands. Marcus, with Evelyn's help, activated a mechanism within the temple that sealed the collection away, ensuring it could only be accessed by those deemed worthy. Greg was left behind as Marcus and Evelyn escaped the collapsing ruins. Back in New Orleans, Marcus returned to Bayou Haven, his perspective forever changed. The coins had taught him that his journey wasn't just about personal success, but about using his gifts to uplift others. He expanded the restaurant into a community hub, offering culinary training to underprivileged youth and creating a space for cultural exchange. The coins, now hidden but safe, remained a part of Marcus's life. Their glow would occasionally return, a reminder that his story was far from over. The pull of their mystery lingered, suggesting that the Solomon Collection's legacy was not yet fully revealed. And so, Marcus's journey continued, a tale of resilience, discovery, and the unyielding pursuit of purpose.